Hey, welcome to Combat Vet Vision. This is a platform for combat vets, veterans, families, sponsors, supporters, volunteers. This is a place where we get to kind of educate the public. We get to spend some time talking about our experiences, kind of things that we're dealing with in life, our challenges in transition to how we're doing in life right now, and what we're doing that's benefiting us in our different things. So, and my guest today is Maurice Garcia, good buddy of mine. We go way back, and he's a combat vet. He served with the VA as a service connector guy, kind of doing the benefits and doing some things within the VA. But he's also got a lot of challenges that he's going to talk about. I'm looking forward to that. And he's been on my show before, so it's going to be good to talk to him. So, Maurice, good to have you, brother.
Hey, thank you, Chief. Thank you for having me on. I didn't know I could take your breath away like that, but hey, it was shucks. You know how to make a black man blush, if you know what I mean.
I always get twisted up a little bit at the beginning because I want my intro to always kind of sound. I want it to be kind of quick, but at the same time, just give a good piece of information to everybody that needs to be out there and hear it. But hey, it's great to have you on the show. I know we've had you on the show before. You told your story, but let's go back and just kind of briefly, go over your story, why you joined the Marine Corps, how that happened, and how you got into combat and coming back. And we'll get into some of the things that you've had to deal with recently and all the way up, the transition, how that kind of dealt. And then we'll get into that. You want to talk about the benefits and the legal stuff that's kind of affecting our veterans today, and some of the things that you've had to deal with personally. So let's go ahead, brother.
Well, hey, let's jump right into it. Well, when I joined the Marine Corps, before that, I was a new father. My oldest daughter, she's 21 years old. I love her to death. I was homeless. I was living out on the streets. I was trying to make ends meet. As anybody, it's a father or mother. As you know, your main thing that you want to do is make sure is that your kids are taken care of. And I had nothing. I went into the recruiter and I saw Staff Sergeant Herrera sitting there behind the desk, and he's just like, "Hey, okay, son, what are you here for?" And I was just like, I had a corduroy jacket on, had holes in my jeans and everything, and I told him, it's like, I feel as a loser as a father. And he's just like, "What do you mean?" He's just like, "You're not a day over 16." And I told him I was just like, "I'm 18 years old," and I told him I was just like, I'm living out on the streets. And that was extremely very difficult for me to be able to express that, because I had some self-pride and I didn't really want to admit it. But I was just like, I was at a point in my life where I was just like, what? I have nothing to lose. The worst that you could tell me is like, "Hey, you know what? Get the hell out of my office." And I was just like, I'm my daughter. She was fighting RSV. I got stuck with the hospital bill as well. So that time, Medi-Cal, the way Medi-Cal worked is it went off the parent, whoever the child lived with, and as her mother was living with the grandmother, and the grandmother, unfortunately, she made too much, so insurance didn't cover it, and so I was left to cover that bill. And I told him, "Hey, sign me up." I went to go take the ASVAB, and I remember Staff Sergeant Herrera, he's just like, "Hey, you scored a 31 on your ASVAB." And I was just like, "Hey, so what does that mean?" And he's just like, "Oh, we could sign you up right now, buddy." And I was just like, "Okay." And it was interesting because when I went to boot camp and everything, kind of going along with the stories, when I went to boot camp, our XO for boot camp, he's like, "I see that you have a daughter." And I was just like, "Yeah." He's just like, "Okay." So he's like, "I'm going to stick you in motor T." And I was like, "Okay." Because I asked him to go 0311. Everybody who goes Marine Corps wants to be an infantryman. And he's just like, "I want you to be around for your daughter, so I'm going to stick you as motor T." Well, sure enough is I get in and we're going through SOI, and sure enough is they're like, "Hey, who runs a 290 PFT or higher?" Well, I raised my hand. I ran a 298, and my boy Joshua Kano, him and we got selected to go to try out for a reconnaissance team and everything, which was I hate swimming, by the way. Never want to do that crap again. So we'll leave that at that. And so that's why I joined the Marine Corps, is mainly because of my daughter. When I checked into my first unit and everything, it was I got called in from TRICARE. TRICARE called me in, and they said, "Hey, we're going to take the remainder of $15,000 that your daughter has for her medical bill and everything, and we're going to wipe it out." I got to tell you, I cried. I cried like a little girl, because now here I am. I'm a Marine. I have something to provide for my daughter, and I can step forward in life. And honestly, that was a blessing in disguise with that. But there was some struggles with the Marine Corps. I'm not going to get into that, because with that, as at any branch that you do besides Space Force, I'm not going to talk crap, but is every branch of the military, we have our difficulties, and it is what it is, and you learn from it and you adapt and overcome. And 20 years down the road, from the Marine Corps to federal government side, is I've been able to provide for my family, for my children now, because I have 3 children, 21, 16, and 14. With my wife on her side, is we have 20, 14, and a 9-year-old. So with that is we integrated our family, and I've been able to take care of the whole family, and it's been a blessing in disguise. But yeah, that's why I joined the Marine Corps there, Chief.
No, that's good stuff. And then you went on to the VA to kind of help out in the VA's process.
Yep.
And you stepped away from that as well. But talk about some of that a little bit, and how that affected you, and obviously being able to help that. You came back into a lot of different things. You've been with me in a lot of different aspects too. You've helped me, manage some of the things I do with Warrior Built Foundation, the PTSD Foundation of America, reaching out to combat vets, reaching out to veterans, and you've helped them navigate a lot of the things that programs that and you're very involved with a lot of programs, even
Yes.
ones that even ones that I'm like not familiar with as much, you stay in touch with. And so it becomes a force multiplier to a lot of things. But go ahead and talk about the VA and how that job affected you a little bit.
Well, is when I got out of the Marine Corps, is just the kind of backstory too, is just so vets know, and who's ever listening, as I served both in Iraq and Afghanistan. So set aside is when I got out of the military, I was going to school for nursing. Nursing is it was great. It kind of opened my eyes to a little thing, is both as I originally started off at VHA, Veterans Health Administration. So for those that are listening, if I use acronyms, you know what the acronyms stand for. That's Veteran Health Administration. And then I crossed over into VBA, Veterans Benefit Administration, which was a blessing in disguise. So VHA is I got to see the aspect of how veterans are being taken care of. Set aside from myself being taken care of by the VA, I got to see how other veterans were being taken care of. And when I switched over to the benefit side, I got to see all the nitty gritty, what benefits are being offered to each veteran. With the veteran, it has amputee. Is a veteran, it has hearing loss. A veteran, it has blindness, and so forth. And it taught me the fundamentals of how a veteran can file for disability and be compensated for those disabilities that he or she is dealing with their everyday life. And so with that is I got to learn how the VA worked on every aspect. And it was honestly a lot of the employees, I'm not knocking down the VA when I say this, a lot of employees that would want to say, hey, okay, you fill out this paperwork, you come back, and then we'll resubmit it. Because at this time, the VA was not fully electronic. The VA, what was this? VA was still doing paper forms. With this is a lot of vets were just like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to start. And it was very difficult, because going through those forms and everything else, the vets are like, gosh, it's this form again, or it's this, and the VA likes to lose stuff. And instead of having the vet come back multiple times, I would just sit down with the vet and be like, okay, let's do this. let's fill this out. Is with that is this is what we're going to do. And I was able to work with these vets, and being a vet myself, they saw, hey, another vet's helping me out. It kind of felt like, I don't know if I can use name brands out on this webpage, but
Oh,
it was kind of like
definitely.
that. Yeah, kind of like the car commercial. CarMax is when they used to have that line, that yellow line, and they said start here. That was what I was trying to do. There was this lady, her name was Mary. She worked for the VFW, and oh my gosh, this lady, 60 plus years old. I don't know how old she was, but this lady had an energy of a 21-year-old, freaking running around helping vets, and like, oh my, she was all over the place, and I loved her energy. And the way is like, honestly, is like, being 60 and being able to help vets. She had no vet affiliation whatsoever, didn't serve in the military whatsoever, and the desire that she had to help vets was amazing. And unfortunately, is one day as I got the news, is that she didn't wake up. As I strived to be like her, I wanted to strive to be at her level to be able to help vets. So I did. I created a program called Veterans to Veterans, which, as some vets may recognize, Vets to Vets. The VA, since it was created while I was working for the VA took ownership of it, and well, unfortunately, I lost the rights to it. So
Hey, that's all right if it's working to help vets.
yeah,
That's a great deal. Thanks for doing
yeah,
that.
yeah. So as what that is, that was a network system to be able to connect the veterans to the doctors, the veterans to organization, and so forth. With that is during that process is with the 211, we were able to get veteran services connected to 211, which was great because when you dial 211, they would give you everything for public assistance, and everything else is set aside from veteran programs. We were able to get that on board. When I finally officially stepped away from the VA, I was able to help with veterans helping veterans, which took off. As I was doing talks down in San Diego, I was doing talks in Los Angeles, I was doing talks in Arizona. I was kind of like all over the place. And then, Chief, I walked into Warrior Built, and there you go. That sexy man with the white beard and everything. He looked at me and I looked at you, and it was a beautiful relationship off the bat. Chief is, as you know, you said, hey, what is it that you can do? And I said, hey, I can help vets with disability. You threw a couple of vets at me, and sure enough is I was able to help them out, and it just went from there. And is with that is a lot of different individuals I was able to work with. I think honestly, to numbers that I've sat down with the vets individually, I think is me personally sitting down with, as I sat down with about 100,000 vets. And when I first started doing it, it used to take 120 hours for each vet that I would help out. I created a system to be able to help vets with their disability claims, to kind of pinpoint them, hey, this is what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Kind of give them if you do this, this is what's going to happen. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. And it worked. And then that 120 hours, it took it from 120 hours to now helping a vet. It takes about 6 hours per claim to give accurate information and everything else, to making sure that everything is filled out. I don't guarantee anything. It's just me just saying, hey, if you do it this way, this is the probability of it coming out this way. And that's the thing is, it's been great. It's been a blessing in disguise, and here it is. Here it is.
Yeah, it is great. As much as you've been able to help veterans with disabilities, and at least give them some guidance as to directions to go, especially with the background knowledge of the VA behind you as well. There's a lot of things that we've done together that have been physical too. I mean, as far as like Warrior Build is, it's a lot of really, it's not necessarily physical, but it's, they're therapeutically, to our capabilities, ability to kind of get out and just sit in chairs and sit under a tarp and watch the motorcycles race or do something,
Yep.
and just, stand by to, just be able to help out something, right? But to be involved with our veterans, hang around, have warrior groups, right? You participated in warrior groups with me. You've been involved in your self-care,
Yep.
and you've dealt with a lot of things over the last couple of years, that have put you in the hospital, have done some things, it's, surgeries to a lot of things. So your transition has been quite a long journey yourself. As much as we want to be as capable as we are, we're still dealing with our own disabilities. We're still dealing with our own, you know, I would like to say I would like to be able to do what I was able to do prior to getting blown up, but that just isn't the case. As much as I try to ignore my injuries, as much as I try to ignore this, we try to do the best we can with what we've got. And sometimes we we try to do more than what we can, and we just can't. But we would like to be able to. And so it's kind of cool. So if, get into that a little bit, get into your transition and how that's affected you, and some of the things that are really taken, that have been positive for you. Obviously, the camaraderie, the brotherhood, being involved in all these nonprofits, but most of all, that's therapeutic effect, and there's a lot to it.
Well, if you don't mind me, I would like to bring up a little backing. I think I brought this up in a last podcast. Is a lot of vets, especially being in the Marine Corps, is when we pulled out of Afghanistan. Is Afghanistan was a big thing. Is when we pulled out of there, a lot of vets were like, "Whoa, why did we pull out of Afghanistan?" And we lost 13, and one of those being one of the individuals that were lost was to the mom and father Lopez, as they lost their son over there, and that was pretty crazy because both those individuals, I didn't know them individually, or nor did I know their son, but as with that is we've done events to where we've been affiliated before, like stuff that we did in Marietta, stuff we did in Temecula, stuff we've done in San Diego. They've been there. We've talked, but I don't want to say, hey, we're buddy buddies and everything. But just to let you know, the story that I would like to share is one day my kiddos and I, when we were living in Canyon Hills, is I was at the splash pad with my kiddos, and sure enough, as I smelled some bread, and I was just like, oh, that's pita bread. And I was just like, I haven't smelled that since Afghanistan. I'm not trying to be racial or anything. I turn around, and there's a family over there that had bread and everything. I was just like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, and I'm not trying to sound weird or anything, but are you from Afghanistan? They're like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, like we're from Afghanistan. I was like, where at? And they're like, Nowzad. And I was just like, well, I was in Nowzad. And she's at the time I was a little bit heavier. Okay. I was a little bit more to love. I had the long hoss and everything else. So I didn't look the part of the Marine Corps and everything. And the lady's just like, she's like, oh yeah, these soldiers, they took me and my family. They saved us, and she holded up a photo, and there I was. I was just like, excuse me, with my guys and everything. With that is Birchfield was in there, a few others that I would like to name as well. Were in there, and I was just like, that was me, and I showed her the photo and everything. And I think, hold on, I think I have it right here on my phone. The photo that I took, because I took one photo of us set aside. Oops, 1 second. I don't know if it's going to rotate, but this
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, the one photo I took, I was out of, but this one is I was in it, and as I told her, I was just like, that's the last photo that we all took together. She's just like, there's no way. And I was just like, yeah. And I showed her some other photos and everything. She called her whole family. And mind you, this was right after Biden took all the troops out of Afghanistan. And she called her whole family. And she's like, this is my baby girl. This is my son. It's like, because of you and you guys, you saved my family. And to be right in my freaking backyard is a lady that her whole family is in existence because of what my guys did. And it kind of reassured me, and it kind of told me that there was a purpose why I was there in Afghanistan, why my guys were there in Afghanistan. And I don't know, is still till today. I mean, is and a small portion is like that family was saved because of my guys, and so it gave me a purpose. And that was one story that I would like to share because I know a lot of vets being in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Fallujah, Kuwait, whatever the case may be. We all have a purpose, and that purpose is whether or not it's a fight for lithium or for oil or for uranium, whatever the case may be. We all have a certain purpose that we did. And 33 of my brothers, that are no longer with us. It's hard. I mean, it's extremely hard because it's like, Chief, is when we first met, I was in a transition, like you're saying. I was in a transition to where I had that. And then is getting out, is with the family court system, is trying to take care of my own health and everything. It was hard. It was extremely hard. And it's individuals such as yourself, other individuals that we know and everything that we come across that I've been able to help, but they've also been able to help me. I mean, I've sat with numerous hours with Richard Lee at freaking his shop and everything, or Alan at the shop as well, just talking about how birds are not real. Or Nick Simmons, just talking about crap, like, it's like, talking about music and everything, but just talking crap and just having that reassurance. Or, the times that I sat with you and Liberty and everything, just that, Liberty would come over and let me pet her and everything. It was moments like that. And I will tell you, it's what saved me, because there was a point in life to where it's not that I felt suicidal. It's just, I wondered, I was just like, am I here for a reason? It's like, why do I?
Yeah. If you lose that purpose or that passion,
Yep.
and like you said, if even going over there to realize your purpose later, to have somebody tell you that they're here because your guys did something for them.
Yep.
The sense of purpose has to be in existence, right?
Yes.
And from joining the military, the purpose was your daughter, to so many different things that if you don't have that purpose, you don't have that passion, you're asking yourself that. And if you don't have that purpose and passion, what are you doing about it to find it? That's what I want to ask our vets, right, that are out there listening to this. It's really kind of important that we all find our purpose and passions wherever they might be.
Yes.
And you got to be involved in your care, though. You got to be involved in yourself. And Maurice will tell you that. And I guarantee, just like him saying that all these little tiny things, petting my dog Liberty, that was just therapeutic for him. Meeting the guys at Warrior Built, meeting the guys wherever he's going, doing things. But that's post-traumatic growth, and that's something that General Mattis spoke about a lot. And
yes,
we got a lot of growth now. I mean, we've came up, we made it through a lot of different situations and psychological things in our heads to have that post-traumatic growth, to where we can better evaluate situations, better navigate the PTSD, better navigate our own injuries physically, and constantly be in check with ourselves. But we still need to drive for the passion of talking to one another, dealing with things together, because you're going to see that we talk on this podcast. We might say things that you as the public might cringe at a little bit at times, like, ooh, why did he say that like that? Well, it's because we talk a language, we talk a way that can be a little brisk at times, can be a little bit raw, and may seem even like dismissive or not even like we don't care, but we care so much that you can't see us caring. But we put ourselves in a place that very few will go. We've taken, oaths that very few will ever take, and we believe in this country more so than most, and we taste the freedom of this country better than most people do.
Yep.
So most of the people are out there just frolicking through their freedoms, and we watch this in a way that is like, why would you carry out your freedoms to be an asshole when you can carry out your freedoms with love, care, and concern for so many of your fellow Americans? Even if you don't like them, where's the love? So go ahead, Maurice. I didn't mean to steal any of it. It reminds me of how much love and passion we have for this country and how much we have for our fellow man and other people, not just those that really need it too. So
Well, as like give you a prime example though too is like you saw that you were talking about a language that we speak. We speak a language that no one else speaks. We as the military we equal 1% of the United States population, and we are the true 1%ers. And it's funny is because no matter what branch, and once again, I'm sorry to exclude the Space Force, but because they're the newest group, I'm sorry to say that, but is we have a language that we speak, and it's we can only understand. And I mean, it's like sitting. You brought up General Mattis, is serving with them in theater and outside of theater, sitting down and talking with them. It's you see how he thinks. I mean, he thinks 10 spaces ahead of everybody. He's our modern day Patton. I mean, like holy crap! Like the guy's intelligent. Like to see his views on different things, not talking politics, but just sitting down and playing a game of chess with the man. I won't say who won that one because I take pride in my chess gaming. But General Mattis, like he's a man of many words, and is with that is I'm very thankful that I got to serve with him. I'm very thankful that I got to serve in theater with him, Godfather, and some other individuals as well. Everybody I got to serve with is, but with the higher ups. General Conway, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but we'll settle our differences later. So a lot of individuals know me for that reason with General Conway, but we're not going to get into that discussion. That's a later discussion.
All right.
But with that is it's I kind of lost my train of thought. Where I was going with that is when General Conway came up. But
you're talking about how General Mattis and the post-traumatic growth and bringing that piece up.
He was just really, really encouraging. Is when I got to talk to some movie stars that I know that it served as with. That is Clint Eastwood. Is when I got to help him on American Sniper. I got to learn that he served in the military. He was a great individual. When I got Chuck Norris, Chuck Norris, a great individual, served as well. I found out that he served on March Air Force Base, which is kind of funny because he was like, I served in that hangar right there, and it was kind of funny. Is like some other stars that did not serve in the military, like talking with Sylvester Stallone and everything. It's how they look at us as heroes, and when I really look at it, I don't think of myself as a hero. I look at myself as what I did something like you're saying is I did it because I love this country. I love what we stand for. Is I love that regardless of what color you are, what religion. If you want to believe you're a unicorn, great. The thing is you can do that in our country, and that's the thing is I love every different walks of life, and it's great. But something that I do, something as I ask past vets is ask them, I was just like, would you do it again? And I remember I got to talk to a gentleman from the Red Tails right before he passed away and everything. Is I asked him, I was just like, he flew P-51 during World War II, man of color, as he says. And I asked him, I was like, sir, would you do it again? And he's like, I would do it in a heartbeat. I remember asking Doolittle's crew is saying, would you do it again? And they're like, in a heartbeat. I asked even Mattis as well, would you do it all over again? He's like, in a heartbeat. He's like, I was like, it's the thing is you do it because you love what's around you. And no matter if that person would do it for you or not, is that that you did it and you went that extra mile. You stepped on the yellow footprints. You stepped on in Chicago for the Navy. His Army, there's multiple things. Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. I'm not going to go through all the different bases, but we all did it for a purpose, and
Exactly.
that's it's a blessing in disguise.
I mean, it's a huge family, and it's still a huge family, and that's why I still call this my never ending last duty station, because it's the way I feel. It's I can reach out to you on any given day. You're a battle buddy of mine, and that's so important. It's who are your bridge people? That's a huge thing that the PTSD Foundation of America uses, the Combat Trauma Healing Manual, used by the written by the Chaplain Corps, that really talks about that. And bridge people are super important. You're one of them. And it's still important to have as many people around you that you can, but you got to start with one, at least a battle buddy that you can call when things are getting rough, or even when they're not. But you and I, we talk at least once a month, if not more, and in some way, shape, or form. And these things pop up. Sometimes we end up in a situation where we just got to talk, and we got to throw some crazy words out, and we got to have some like thrash time, and just like some adrenaline rush running through our brain housing group with the PTSD mixed into it. And a lot of people maybe don't understand that, and maybe you out there maybe aren't understanding what that's going on with you. But at the same time, it's great to have you to bounce that off of, because it's not like it's going to affect our relationship or our friendship, or it's like, hey man, it's cool, you got this thing going on, let's roll with it. What do you do? Let's talk about it. It's like, and it's like, cool man, we're gonna deal with this. And then by the time it's all said and done, a calm down effect happens, and we're able to move on, hopefully in a better direction, right?
Yes.
But and some of those directions pile up. There's some things that just kind of really irk us in society, because as we deal with things like our own benefits, and that's something you want to talk about. And you also want to talk about the legal system, and how the legal system has found a way to warp itself around some things to create some havoc in some aspects of our lives. And we look at things and we're told one thing, like, hey, because you served, you get this, and this. And when you find out that's not the case, it'd be like being told that, hey, and I'll give you an example. What Maurice is going to get into here in a minute. It's like being told, hey, we're going to give you a 10% discount, but everybody else is paying $10 for this product, but they're going to charge you $10 and $10.10. And so you're getting your 10, they're going to charge you $11, and you're still going to pay $10. So you're not really getting that 10% discount. And when you come to find out that that's the case, you're like, hey, you told me you're giving me a 10% discount. Yeah, we are, but we're charging you $11. Well, you're charging the public 10. So is it really that discount? So you got to understand that kind of stuff really kind of, that's just a horrible way to do business. That's a horrible way to do our stuff, especially in the legal side of things, as well as just a whole bunch of things. But Maurice, yeah, let's talk about some of the things that you wanted to focus on, and in the benefit side of things, because I know you're well in tune with some government pieces, well in tune with some legal stuff that you've had to deal with recently. And I know I've heard it for the last, I don't know, 8 years or so, how it's kind of really twisted some things up. So.
Well, you're sounding like a politician when you're saying, "Hey, we're going to pay for 11," and then
yeah. I'm not a politician, but I can play one in real life sometimes. And the other thing I say that too about, and that's what Maurice was saying, I'm not a hero. He doesn't feel like a hero, but we can play one in real life sometimes when when we have to take the stage, when we have to talk about our experiences in the military, and that experience is something that we did to face the enemy, to walk outside the walls of freedom, to place ourselves in harm's way. And we were able to do things that we were lucky to do with a team of amazing people on an amazing platform. And they were all heroes amongst us all. So we're not a hero, but we play one in real life sometimes. That's how I put it. When you tell me I'm not a plumber either, but I play one in real life sometimes, that's just the way I say things out loud a lot of times, just to make it just sounds more realistic.
Well, our wives, when they look at us, they think that we can do everything. And then when we look at them and we think that they can do everything, they look at us with that stare like, are you serious? You really think I can do that? Like, come on. Like, I'm just saying, I just got to be careful. The wife's a Latina. I don't want her to hit me with anything. But no, So let's jump right into it. So what kind of like Chief was talking about is benefits. Is like I don't know a lot of vets is we all want to file for a claim. Whether we do or not is with we get these little ads that pop up, or at least I do. I don't know. Is get these ads up. It's say go from 0% to 100%. We can help you get to 100%. Blah blah blah, and they give you that advertisement. And I'm not going to throw names out there because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. But there's a big gray area that they leave out. Is when they say is when they're going to help you with your VA disability. A lot of these individuals is they have you write a clause, and this clause takes away from the Social Security Act protecting you from your rights from your VA disability. That is one aspect. We'll talk about the family thing in just a moment. Is when they do this, is when they said they're going to help you out, is what they're doing is they're taking everything that from e-benefits, and they're saying, okay, they're going to have you fill it out. They're writing in their jargon. Luckily for us nowadays, is we have a thing called ChatGPT, Gemini, and some other stuff. A lot of legal assistants, they use this so that they can get their terminology when they type in and everything. You can do it yourself. And then at the end, they're taking up to 20. The highest that I've seen is 20. I think it was 20% or 25% that I've seen that they take from your retro pay, whatever the case may be. And so say you get a retro pay of $30,000. Okay. You take your 20% of that, that's a lot of money. I mean, that is if you're getting $20,000 or $30,000 on a retro pay that you've been waiting for 2 years for, that could help you out. And I know I'm not going to use his name, but there was a vet that I helped out that he lost his job. His wife lost his job. His kids were going to school. They weren't able to go to school anymore. And when we did his retro thing, he's a Vietnam vet, is when he got his retro pay, he came over, he tracked me down, and he gave me the biggest kiss ever. I mean, he gave me a kiss bigger than my dog gives me a kiss. Okay. And he was so happy because he was able to get it. But now when these attorneys or these activist group, I don't even want to say attorneys because some of them are not attorneys, take this big old chunk, you're left with chump change. And then as with that is then is you're just like, okay. And then they put on there too, is if you don't want to do the full thing as a lump sum, is that they will take out monthly payments from your retro, or not from your retro, but from your award, because the VA is paying them, not paying you directly. And honestly, is I frown against that because, is if you're a vet and you're entitled to this benefit amount, you shouldn't be paying someone to do something. I know there's no, I know that might be hard fetched, and for a lot of people, like, oh, someone deserves something. Just go out to your VFW, go to your American Legion. You have VSOs out there. The VA has individuals. I know it might take a little longer. I know there's individuals like myself out there. I mean, is like Raven from MilVet. She has a Chanel Davenport. Excuse me, Chanel, if you're listening to this podcast, and I'm sorry if you're not doing it anymore, I apologize. But Raven, with your organization, you've helped tons of individuals out there. Sending care packages, and you had that program, it was out there. There are individuals that are out there that help you. I know it might seem like there's not. I mean, if you want to reach out to myself, Chief, if you want to put my email on there, I can point you in the right direction. I can help you as much as I can. I can't guarantee anything, but the thing is to pay these individuals, to put that liability, it's difficult. Now, there's a clause on there that I've recently seen as well. This was 2 years ago when let's say recently, is because I'm no longer in California, I'm in Texas.
So loving it.
Yeah, love every bit of it. Is what happened is the veteran passed away. And there was a clause on top of there, is where the payment, the remainder payments and everything that his last payment was supposed to go to the family. Well, unfortunately, the attorney's like, nope, it's coming to me. And then is with that, it also stopped the DIC payment from going to the spouse because the spouse was not listed on his information. So the family had to fight that, and we're able to get that all reversed. But the problem is, why have to go through another hurdle? And that's something is be cautious. Is what I'm trying to say is be cautious on who you trust. Do a little bit of research if you really want to use these attorneys or these helpers or whatever. I mean, feel free. I battle buddy, like you're saying, Chief, is with that. Someone that knows someone that knows someone. It is like, I know that might seem kind of weird, but everybody knows someone that to help them where they got to, and just go off of that. Make sure that you do your research before you do sign. Read everything. Like we all sign that contract 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, however long that you sign those contracts or how many times that you sign those contracts. You learned every time to read, because so read those contracts. Read the contracts before signing your life away again, because there's a lot of people out there to help themselves and not looking out for the benefit of you. It's like the Kirby vacuum cleaner salesman. I know because I was one back in the day. Is your carpet thick or thin? Yeah. Is that 6-inch or 8-inch? My wife was like, it's 8-inch. I was just like, if that is 8 inches, we're okay. Okay. So no, but no, where I'm trying to get with that is just be cautious on that. No, legal side of family stuff is for our podcast that we did last time is kind of funny, is because one of my things on LinkedIn, it says is I'm a public speaker. Now, is an attorney used that against me in the family court system. And now a lot of vets, when they think that the VA disability is not counted for calculation of child support services, I'm going to let you know, you're bad out of your mind, because unfortunately it is counted on that, even if it's federally protected. What I mean by that is they will use the amount that you get for calculation purposes to fulfill child support. No, it's not supposed to be legal or federally protected, but the problem is the courts do it. With the family court system is they use my public speaking. They said, well, he must be making this much. And with his pension, with public speaking, and with the nonprofit, he's making a ton. So the problem is with that they will use everything, and it's all right. It sucks, but is with that is you need to be mindful. Is know that your benefit amount is there they're with your dependents. They're there to take care of your children. There is a portion that you receive. We can get into that in the discussion long after this. So feel free if you have any questions on that. I don't want to take up a lot of time on that. Not it. It was difficult because they took my retirement, my 401k, my TSP. They took all that, and I had to start over. And that's another hurdle that I had to get over. Something that Chief and we spoke about many times as well. Is like, hey, here I am, starting to having to start over, and it sucks. It does. It really does suck. But the problem is with that you adapt and overcome. You learn how to get through it. And on a note on that, is I just want to really reiterate to a lot of vets that are listening and everything. Just know that you survived wars, you survived battles, whether you've been overseas or whatever the case may be. You can survive this. You're not alone. There's a way to get through this. And I know it's difficult. I know the struggles. I'm telling you, before I joined the Marine Corps, there's usually vets, the way that it works out between us, we go from family, joining the military, to being homeless, to being phenomenal, or whatever the case may be, or just staying homeless. I went from homeless, joining the Marine Corps, to being homeless again. I was living in my car when I got out of the Marine Corps again, because, they took everything, is you start over again. But it's all right, because you have resources out there. There's a lot more resources now than there was before. And don't be afraid to reach out. That's the thing, is I would like to trust. And before you trust someone, or before you go and lay down with someone, find out, read your contract, know, be cautious on what you do, because this day and age now is you can get trapped, and you might not feel that there's a way out, but there is a way out. It's called pushing her down a flight of stairs. I mean, I'm joking. No, but I'm saying is no, just honestly, just read your contract, make sure that you reach out, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because I know it's hard. You might want to be some strong individual, but don't be afraid to ask for help. I mean,
yeah, I know we as veterans, we're so used to giving help and so used to being part of the team to jump in there. But, sometimes you're struggling so much, you need help yourself. You need direction. As much as you may come across like, I know, sometimes you got to step back and be like, I need to listen to somebody who's going through it right now, or has gone through it, or is it 3 steps ahead of you, because they're going to be able to give you some important information that you might have missed along the way. We got a lot of veterans in veterans court. We got a lot of veterans in all kinds of different situations going through, uh, custody in court, like you just went through. You finally got to see your kids. Finally, this last Christmas, they flew out to see you for a little while. That was great, because that was a big problem for you moving out to Texas. Getting there was like, I have to leave my kids and the custody piece. Am I going to be able to see them? But hey, it was great that you got to see them. There's so many cool things. And then on top of that, you're being told that money cannot be used against you, or it can't be taken from you. And then in court, it's counted against you as your full income. So when it's all looked at, you're just like, hey, why did I have to disclose that when legally I didn't? That's a loophole that the government has found a way, or somehow those people that are against you in court for custody and all this, they found a way to use that. That's maybe a loophole that needs to get cut off, because when you're told as a veteran that can't be used in any way, shape, or form against you, or they can't take that from you. Yeah, I guess if you're giving all your money up and you're down to your last $2,000 from disability, that no matter what, that can't be taken from you, but it can be counted against you.
Yes.
To where they can take all the rest of your money. So that shouldn't be the case. And I think, we need to ask, and I think that's where Maurice is getting at, asking the government to close that loophole so that they can't count that against you. And granted, it's still, you still need to be responsible for your family, your kids, everything in life. But at some point, if we're being told that this cannot be counted against us, I mean, that's where we as veterans become very disgruntled, disheartened, and feel like society and the legal system has failed us. So those are the things that I understand. Those are the things I understand full-heartedly from our veterans that get to the point where they just want to give up, and we don't want to get to that point. So if you want to protect your veterans, if you want to do them a favor, don't give them a reason to give up. If you're going to give them hope, don't put that hope out there and then take it away. And I may be guilty of that as well, as especially if I make a promise to some of these vets and I try not to. And just like Maurice said, he might be able to help you out and give you that direction, but I don't want to get into the business of promising something that I can't deliver. And sometimes if I don't deliver, I want you to bug me to the death till I'm doing it. Hey chief, you told me you were going to give me this picture. Hey chief, give me this picture. Hey chief, you owe me this picture. Hey chief, remember you told me your wife was going to build this picture, because she does all my graphics. So sometimes I need to make sure I come through with that. And I've let people down, and I don't want to do that. So in order to not, feel free to bug me anytime you want. Go ahead, Maurice. Hey, we got a couple of minutes. We got about 10 minutes left, but I know you want to put your information out there. Let's talk about what you're doing now, because you're doing a lot with the VFW, some of the other things, and fill in any of the other things you might want to talk about too.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the New Braunfels area of Texas. Beautiful town, by the way. We just had the cold storm that is with that. With the VFW out here, is I got to tell you, it's night and day for a veteran community out here. Is because, man, holy crap! Like, you say vet, it's like these companies take off the bra and they're like, okay, like I was like, who, okay, like you didn't even want to get to know me first, okay, like I got you. So these companies are great because they're very veteran they're very veteran go to. Something is trying to do out here is with the veteran community is make more awareness. Is with I noticed this town is a very jogging town. They like to jog out here, and so is with that is we got some planning a Silkies run, San Antonio run going down to San Antonio for the River Walk as well. They do big events down there. I'm planning is when Congress comes back to talk with Ted Cruz, talking about exempting military and veteran pay from certain stuff. We get into that and a different thing as well. My wife and I, we're doing capybara forerunners. My wife and I, we both drive forerunners. We're doing that. Is the Jeep has their little cult. We have our little cult. We're doing that as a nonprofit, for profit. Some of the big companies out here that we have Walmart, we have Costco. Costco is moving their big distribution center out here, which is kind of interesting. So that's going to be really good. We have the sky's the limit. Toyota's on board as well. So this is another good thing to get helping vets. Something I would like to do is have Toyota donate a vehicle to a vet family that needs help or needs wheels to get back and forth. And also to provide vehicles to transport veterans from their appointments back and forth to their appointments as well. So, which is in the workings right now. So, hey, kudos to Toyota. Love them to death. Continental left here. I don't know where they went. We're also doing stuff with what's up?
Oh, no, go ahead.
We're trying to get Budweiser on board as well. Some big events, like I'm just telling you, is there. If you're in Texas, you better give me a call, give me an email, because it's in the next year. It's going to be happening. We're going to be introducing a new type of genre of music as well. We're going to be doing reggae country. I love reggae music, and adding a little country y'all to it is going to be pretty interesting. So, some interesting stuff. So I think you guys would like it.
No, that's good stuff, Maurice. And I know you talked about you want to make a trip down to see Kevin and Kim Frantum. They're huge sponsors and supporters of Warrior Built. They're combat vets doing a lot of stuff. They got a nice ranch not too far from you. Camp Hope's on your agenda because you're only 2 hours away from Camp Hope.
Yes.
And these are all things, Camp Hope is the PTSD Foundation of America's place for us to kind of hang out and do some stuff and send our combat vets to get that PTSD support 6 to 9 months. I know you need to take a tour of that place. That's really going to be important, and it's going to be a good place for you to check out. And then, just all the support that Texas has to offer, we're sending those guys for free to Camp Hope. And then obviously, all the other things that you're doing, and you're doing it with the VFW and
just the VFW directly right now. Why my wife and I are getting the nonprofit started. So it's taken a little bit of time, but because I just had surgery last Tuesday, so trying to recover from that. But doing it directly right now with the VFW. So and it's going to be great. And by the way, Kevin and Kim, by the way, thank you, Kim, for the wishes on for the recovery. If you see me on your property and if you're listening to this podcast, please do not shoot. I will be the naked man down by the lake. Okay.
Fishing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Fishing.
Crazy. See, that's the kind of stuff that we as veterans say sometimes that people will be like, what? But Maurice says this kind of stuff all the time. Maurice, we got just 1 minute left, but we're going to cut it a little short today. But hey, feel free, give your information if you want to. You can get a hold of Maurice through me anytime you want. Again, that's how we do it. But Maurice, give out as much information about you as you want, and any final words, brother.
Yep. Hey, if you want to reach me by email, my email directly is Veterans Helping Veterans. That's veterans with an S, helping, HELPING, veterans, again, with an S at the end, 2015 @gmail.com. feel free to reach out to me via there. If you see me in Texas, I'm the one that drives the one with all the Marine Corps stickers. You can't miss me, okay? With that is, yeah, you'll see me with my wife. My wife is my best friend. She's the reason why I have the smile now, besides Chief. Kiddos as well. Other thing is, I want to say once again, I want to reiterate, is you're not alone. We're here. We can do this. You're not alone. You can get through this. And I want to say is feel free to look me up on Facebook as well. Instagram is just chit chat. Feel free to reach out, and just know if you need anything, if I'm not able to do it, as I'll point in the right spot to be able to get those resources. And I thank you for everything. Once again, Kim and Kevin, if you're listening, I'm the naked man fishing down by your lake. Do not shoot, please.
U.S. Marines, Kim and Kevin. Hey, thanks a lot, Maurice. Appreciate you. Hey, I just want to say, this is brought to you by sitchradio.com. My co-host, JB Brown, who's a veteran with the Coast Guard. He'll be on next week with me, along with Mike DeLeon from Recon Chief Incorporated. Just some other nonprofits that I work with, and doing some stuff with the Veteran Transition Resource Center, Warrior Built PTSD Foundation. Thanks for your support and everything that I'm doing, and everything that we as veterans get to do if we want to be involved in any of these organizations. So if you're involved in an organization, you want to be on the show, please hit me up anytime you want. I'll work on getting you on there. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Until next time, this is Aaron Seibert signing off. Strength and honor out.
The only way, and we need nothing more. The only way, together forever, that's for sure.